Am I thinking about writing a 7th book in the Alara series? If I go back to Alara, it'll probably be, well, it'll probably be years from now, and I'll need to pay off my gambling debts or something, you know, a good reason. And I would probably go back, I would either go back a couple of generations in the future, and where we would see a much steampunkier Alara after Gaius Octavian got through messing the place up. Either that, or I've also given consideration to kind of writing the incredible troublemaking A-team of cursors that Aaron has to put up with, where, you know, one of them's a Canem and one of them's a Marat, and so on. You know, they've kind of got a Justice League of cursors causing trouble, but it wouldn't be, I mean, it wouldn't be a story that's on the same kind of, you know, let's animate mountains and smash the world kind of scale that the first one was. So, you know, I wouldn't want to disappoint by going back to that. Let me go over here. An anime, yeah, what about an anime or an animated movie of either series? I would be delighted with those, because then they could blow up as much stuff as they wanted. And, I mean, really, it wouldn't really cost them any more than not blowing it up. Which makes it a major difference from, you know, television, the way it's normally done. In my head, it's kind of an animated series anyway, as I'm writing it. And there are some moments where you can actually stop and say, oh my gosh, this looks like an anime panel right here, what he's describing. And the answer to that is yes, it does. It's what it is in my head, I just have to write it down that way. But let me go over here, into Richard. You are expendable, sir.
Is there any real or historic person or place that you want to interact with Dresden with that you have not?
Is there any real or historical person, place that I want to interact Dresden with that I have not? Yeah, several, but I'm going to use them, so I don't want to. I don't want to give too much away just yet. I've also considered going back and writing the French and Indian War in the Dresden verse, which would be really, really interesting, because, you know, that's back when Ebenezer was a young hothead, and most of the senior council guys were running around causing trouble at that point, and dumb enough to get into the kind of things that Dresden does every book. And, you know, we'd have, you know, Sasquatches and the French and everything. It would be a lot of fun. So. Yeah?
Are there any clues or certain points in the book that you thought by now people would have picked up on, but have not yet?
Are there any clues or things in the book that I thought by now people would have picked up on, but not yet?
And what are they?
I refuse to repeat that part of this question. Actually, no. Everybody's picked up on, I think, all the major plot stuff that I've done. Pretty much somebody's picked up on all of it. Nobody's put them all together. But, I mean, in each individual part, as things get revealed as the plot goes on in the future, you're going to have people who go, I called that, and they did. I mean, they would be, like, wrong on, like, 90% of the rest. But that part, yeah, they nailed it. And it's possible to put together the big story, too, because the guys who were researching the role-playing game did it. And were writing it in the book, and I had to tell them, no, stop that! You may not put that in the role-playing book, because you're giving things away that would be way more fun to get in the actual books. So don't do that, or I'll scream, throw a fit, and so on.
Is there anyone you based Dresden upon, or just really how you came about with creating such a strong character? I mean, the whole series is based on him.
Okay, so anybody I based Dresden on, how did I go about creating Dresden? Well, first of all, you have to understand that I created Dresden as an exercise in my writing a genre fiction novel class in order to prove to my writing teacher how wrong she was about all her ideas of writing. Because she'd been trying to give me very good writing advice for a long time. This was in the grad program at OU's College of Journalism, in the professional writing program there. She'd been trying to give me very good advice for a long time, which I'd been ignoring because I had a bachelor's degree in English literature. Whereas she had merely published 40 novels. So, I'd been arguing with her for a couple of years, and finally I said, okay, one semester I said, okay, I'm going to be her good little writing monkey this semester. I'm going to do all of her little worksheets, I'm going to fill out all the little things, I'm going to follow this very artificial, very terrible process that she's trying to get us to get involved in, and I'm going to show her what terrible cookie-cutter pablum crap comes out of it. And that's when I wrote Stormfront. Which showed her. But Dresden himself, I put it together from two sources. One, classical long-term popular wizards, and two, long-term popular private eyes. And I said, okay, and I started with Merlin and Sherlock, and those were the first two that I used. And I started, listing all the very artificial process, listing all the common traits between all these popular literary wizards, and then all the common traits between the popular successful literary private eyes. And notice a couple of interesting crossovers. One, all the wizards and the private eyes, they really get all of their real power from knowledge. They go find things out. That's what really makes them dangerous. What made Gandalf dangerous to Sauron was not the fact that Gandalf had a medium-sized special effects budget and could throw fire and stuff at him. That wasn't what made him dangerous. What made him dangerous was him running around the land, finding things out, and going down into the dark, musty vaults of Minas Tirith and looking up all these old records and realizing, oh, wait a minute, this is how we killed the guy. That's what made Gandalf dangerous, not that he could do all this other stuff. And private eyes kind of function in the same way. I mean, you can have a private eye who is scrappy and good in a fight. You can have somebody like Spencer who can box you right into the ground if you want to play that kind of game with him, or maybe just plug you if you want to play rough. But that is not what really makes him dangerous. What makes him dangerous is his ability to go places and find things out. Now, whether they're going into a literal underworld like the Mines of Moria, or whether they're going into a more metaphorical underworld like the underside of the Boston crime scene, that's what they do. So I said, okay, well, these are the things I want to put together and say, now what else do I need from wizards? All wizards are grumpy. I'm going to put that in because it's just true. All private eyes are mouthy, as much as I can tell. All the long-term popular ones, and they both tend to be arrogant. I mean, you look at somebody like Sherlock Holmes, who was, just a terribly arrogant character. He was occasionally so arrogant, he almost seemed innocent of the fact that he was so arrogant because he was so smart. So he said, okay, then what are the other things about, especially looking at the hard-boiled American private eyes, what are the things about these guys that make them that make them popular, make them long-running characters? And, well, you know what? They will all mouth off to exactly the wrong people at exactly the wrong time. And they'll do it every time. And they can all take an enormous beating, and yet still drag themselves out the other side and continue pursuing their goal. And those were the basic character traits that I put together for Dresden. And so, there you go. Kind of a long answer, but right here.
Well, the history of Colin Murphy how he killed himself, his legacy as will that ever really come out, and will it be important in any way?
Will the history of Colin Murphy, how he killed himself, etc., come out? Will it be important in any way? Well, no. I mean, because that would require that he actually killed himself. And we'll just all leave it at that. Right here, in the zombie shirt.
What do you feel is your biggest cliche?
What do I feel is my biggest cliche? And the easier question would be, what do I feel is my biggest avoidance of cliche? Because there's far fewer of those. The Wizard with Fireballs thing was probably it. I tried not to, but I played too much D&D when I was young. And, that basically it was going to happen. I tried to avoid it, but it didn't work out. Although I have had fun playing with fireballs in like the same way that we used to do in all the old D&D games. It's just 3,000 cubic feet of fire.